Hello and welcome back to My Mom's Basement, ladies and gentlemen. It is Robbie Fox, Clem, and one of our favorite people in the world to have join us in the basement, Michael Waldron. We're not talking about anything involving capes or superheroes today, though. We're talking Chad Powers
What do
on
you mean? I'm going to
Hulu.
spoil it all. I want
Oh, are
like
you
I want
good?
I want I want views. I'm selling a I gotta get people to watch my show. I came prepared to give spoilers, man. I'm trying to go viral.
Is Feige in the room
I,
with you right now? You'll just turn the camera, he'll show us the
no,
whiteboard, all of it.
I'm out in the desert. I ditched my tracker. So I've got about 20 minutes till they drone strike me.
Yeah, yeah, you're on the run,
Michael,
one battle after another style.
over your shoulder right now in that window, I do see a sniper though, who's waiting for you. They're reading your lips like
Yeah,
Doctor.
I'm gonna
Did he
get
say Doctor Doom? Green light.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Um,
Chad Powers, the show that was spawned from a commercial in a very Ted Lasso style, I guess. I want to know when for you this became something that in your head you were like, I can make a damn good show out of this. It's not just a Eli Manning commercial. Like I know there's something there. What was your avenue in to this show?
well, I don't know. Have you guys seen it? Do you like
Yeah,
it?
really liked it. Like we love you and we wanted to like it because of you, but I'll be honest, I think both of us got expectations exceeded by this show.
So, and as an Eli guy, this is going to sound weird. I didn't love the original Chad Powers sketch as much as like the entire internet was in love with it, and I was like, that was kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about it. I think the prosthetics throws me off, right? And then I was like, all right, we got to watch the show for our guy Mike. And I was like, this fucking asshole. That's my question. How dare you? How dare you? Like, you could be great at, the comic stuff, and you could be with the nerdy stuff, and you've also had other projects that have been great. But you're doing the comedy and the sports this well. Like, I kind of hate you because of it. And now I have another show in my rotation with two kids and a wife. I don't have time for another show, brother. And you just got like I'm hooked now. I am seriously hooked. I love it. I actually I tweeted out today, and a lot of people are saying like I kind of love it too. Like I think a lot of people went in being like, oh, the Eli thing, and they came out being like, oh shit, this is like a modern day fun sports comedy that really hits on the real world ridiculousness of life, basically.
I really appreciate that, and that was maybe that was the draw was after being fortunate enough to work in the Marvel world for so long, where it's like, well, people are gonna watch your stuff no matter what. I was like, let's tackle an idea that has the ultimate level of skepticism for an audience, which, which in hindsight, like, I mean, tough. And it's in that, and I had that same skepticism, and I've, Glenn and I have talked about this ad nauseum, but he and I are college football fans. We've been buddies. We wanted to work together. It it seemed like a cool opportunity to do a college football show, and that was fun. But I think maybe that was what drew me to it, was the challenge of, I knew there, I guess I suspected there would be that skepticism of like, so this is based on that Eli sketch, like, and how could this be like, how could this be really good? And I think that was the exciting opportunity, was to say, all right, let's see if we can make something really special. And yeah, we ran at it, and it's weird. It's like, and I guess when I really latched on was when, I mean, it's not all that different from something like Loki, where it's like the story of a bad guy, of a villain,
Mhm.
going through this journey that where he kind of accidentally becomes a better guy. So, it has stuff in common from a character place of stuff I've done before.
At what point, how early on was it cuffs off? Because that was, I feel like, a big, nice, pleasant surprise where I was maybe 5 minutes into the first episode and I was like, oh shit, we're like really going there with this show. It's not at all a PG show.
I think that's it's in the, and that's been interesting in the response, and even in like, I think everybody just expected Ted Lasso. Like
Yeah.
everybody was just like, it's gonna be Ted Lasso, and I was always like, ugh, like it's not. And we never once, nothing against Ted Lasso. It showed you'd be lucky to have that much success, but like, never once was that like a creative jumping off point. We were, I mean, I was writing something, I wanted kind of to do something fucked up.
Yeah.
And they, to Hulu's credit, to Peyton and Eli's credit, I mean, it was gloves off from the start. That I was like never, we were never held back. They were all the way in on just wanting to make something really, really funny. And I think that's what it was. It was like, all right, yeah, this is based on a sketch, but let's make it legitimately as funny as possible. And I think that's what you have to do. Like this audience, the sports audience, there's not a more cynical, skeptical bunch of people than them. I know it because I am one. And so it's, we were just like everything somebody expects the show to be, we're going to go out of our way to make sure it's not.
And what really threw me off, I realized through my first viewing, is it's a Hulu show, but I have Disney Plus and Hulu, but I watch everything through Disney Plus just so it's easy, all one app, right? And I'm like, wait, can you say the hard R word like four different times on Disney Plus? And it was just flying there. And I was like, and like Bob said, when you have the kid in the wheelchair with the cancer, you're like, oh, we're doing cancer stuff right off the bat. And I was like,
Right
I don't know where
away.
this is going. And you guys have even, I saw the teaser that went out, and it's a clip from the show where he's like, the reason I'm doing this is because it's the redemption story, and this is what we all thought it was going to be, the Ted Lasso stuff. You guys are closer to Kenny Powers kind of stuff, Eastbound and Down, which I consider the gold standard for sports and comedy TV.
100%. Yeah, I mean that's the and now that I'm like out here like selling the show, which again, it's like when you have the benefit with Marvel, it kind of like sells itself. And it's like now I actually have to be a little more thoughtful as an artist of like, all right, well, how do you want to talk about this thing? You want people to click on something that either they don't know what it is, or maybe they're like bringing in some real skepticism to it. And that's I'm like, yeah, no, it's actually funny. And it's,
It's
and,
so
and
funny,
hopefully it's
yeah.
not just actually funny, hopefully it's actually good. Uh but I mean that was, we pulled no punches ever on it.
Yeah.
The funny thing is with the Manning brothers, they are this like buttoned up the corporation in people's minds, right? But you hear the stories about Peyton and Eli off the field and with their teammates and stuff. These guys are a bunch of clowns. I'm sure you guys had conversations that Disney and the Manning family would not want out in the world. And I'm sure they want someone like that. And what is the name of that show? Blue Mountain State. I know that's the show that people love because it's like a little edgy and risque. I've never seen it. And I think if you guys marketed this show as that, you probably get a lot of people like myself who'd be like, yeah, let's get crazy with it. Like you just see Glen Powell, he feels like he's becoming America's sweetheart right now. And you're like, they're not going to take too many chances. The Manning name is attached. And then you're watching, and I'm just like, oh my God, what are we doing here? And
Yeah, yeah, it's like you kind of expect it to be safe. Part of that is and now it's like that's joyful to me. Anybody who tunes in
yep.
expecting the safe and just immediately is getting that kid in the wheelchair and
Yes.
all of the it's everything deranged about it. I'm like that was the joy of it to me, of just how unexpected it was. And but again, trying to like ground it just more, I think that's more honest to this world, frankly, like the
Yeah.
world of
Mhm.
sports. Like if you play sports, like, and especially football, like I don't know, that's how these people talk. Like
Mhm.
uh it's not like the nicest environment. People are tough and people are busting your balls all the time. And so we have at the center of the show something like incredibly unreal with the mask. And we're like, let's try and make everything else actually very, very real. And so, uh, yeah, it's again, it's not a chicken shit redemption story for sure.
Yeah. And I love it. It reminds me, I'm a big Oasis fan of their album, What's the Story, Morning Glory. They kick off with a very low, kind of muted Wonderwall, the first few chords of it. And the idea was they wanted everyone to crank their car radios and be like, am I hearing Wonderwall right now? And then Hello kicks in as loud as it could possibly be. And you're taken aback. And that's what the first episode did for me. And one of the things that took me aback in it was seeing Steve Zahn, who's absolutely awesome. I'm sure there's a lot of inspirations that come for a lot of these characters, but right away it seemed like there was some Coach Gruden and Coach Jake Hudson. Was there any John Gruden in him as you were writing him?
I don't know that there was any one coach that I was pulling from. He's kind of just this amalgamation of all of, if you're a college football or football fan, it's like you just take in the personalities of a zillion coaches over your lifetime, not to mention all the coaches in TV and movies and everything. And so, wanting him to stand out as his own guy, as a hard ass, but not but also have it's you don't want to just do Coach Taylor again,
Hmm.
but you also don't want to do Henry Winkler from the Water Boy. You don't want him to be such a dumbass. And so it's in a lot of ways he's the show's like straight man. He's kind of the ultimate straight man that Glenn's hiding it from, which is fun for Steve, who a lot of times is like he's the Joker card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so funny and so crazy, and he was so game for that. And I mean, Steve's such a brilliant actor that I mean, I think he'd tell you the inspiration he took was Mark Stoops because he lives in Lexington, and he went, he's already kind of close with the Kentucky football program, and he knows Stoops, and so he went and shadowed him and spent time, just around that program, and he showed up with just this character sort of fully formed, and in some ways, like then that informed more how I was writing the character.
Oh, were you writing it as they were filming, even writing maybe the end of the season while the beginning was being filmed?
Hell yeah, man! That's come
Wow,
on,
that's
football
cool.
guy. You
Day one
can't.
stuff, Rob. Come on. You don't know about writing the writing process?
You write it as good. No, I mean we were on we were on a accelerated timeline on this one, in a way that was really fun. Is just because of actors' schedules and stuff. Um, it was chaotic and it was a fucking blast because I actually brought my whole writing staff to Atlanta, which is a rare thing to like have your whole staff on set with you. So, I mean, we were really just working on the last two episodes together, but because we were all there, we had the benefit of like, oh, well, we can be adjusting on the fly as we're
Mhm.
seeing these actors like, bring the words to life. Normally that's stuff you're maybe doing on your own, but having everyone there together made a lot of fun.
And you had mentioned with the character and Stoops and all that stuff, but this is my favorite part of the show is that it does feel like a legitimate sports movie. Like if the sports stuff feels real, and there's times where in some of the shows it just feels so off. My favorite comedy ever, I think, is or sports comedy is. I think Major League is the best sports movie ever by far because it felt like the ups and downs of the baseball season. And Ted Lasso kind of has some of that, like we mentioned. Kenny Powers does the retired side, and this is the college program. Like just the little things, like the coach being a big dip guy, and then you have the offensive coordinator who's thinking all this stuff. You have the younger coach who's trying to make her way up. As a sports fan, like, was it important to you to be like, I need to get this accurate, and Glenn as well, I'm sure too. Like, we need to make this feel like a legitimate thing because the sports fans will immediately, if they sniff it out, you get one episode, maybe not even, and then we're out.
Yes, dude. Yes. It's like I'm reading everything about the show before it comes out, and it's like I see that the sports fans are just like air jerking the shit out of this thing before it's just like because they just how many times do you get burned, where you're just like,
Mhm.
oh, it's like they didn't really know, they didn't
It's like the
care, they didn't
Inglorious Bastards. Like immediately as you see it, you're like, oh, okay, we get it now.
yeah, it's like but it's just college football psychopath, and so we did everything, and our whole, everyone was. It's like our whole team was. Glenn's a Texas guy. Tony Yacinda, who directed a lot of our season, is a Penn State guy. Clayton Crawford, who plays the uh, uh, quarterback's coach, is always dipping. He's a Bama guy. It's the booster whenever it. She went to Auburn. She was the face of the SEC's "It Just Means More" campaign back in the day.
Wow.
I mean, Ed Quentin Player, who plays the offense coordinator, he played at UNC. So it's like everyone's got a connection
And you
to
played
it.
in college too, right? No, I'm kidding.
Who did? Oh yeah,
You?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I was
5 year quarterback. That knee injury was
Yeah.
the only thing that stopped you from making
yeah,
the
I was
NFL.
backing up Stafford. It was I was more focused on the writings. It was good for him to get the opportunity. Um and then Perry Matfeld, who plays Ricky, she was a USC cheerleader. So it's like, yeah, we got football up and down the line.
Do you have a most psychotic college football fan moment of your own that comes to mind?
What was college football going on during all this too? Like, I want to know, like, if you guys are watching the games
Oh
together.
yeah, man. Yeah, we're all talking shit to each other. Like when Bama beat Georgia last year, I went to Clay and I was like, I got bad news for you, man. Like Coach Dobbs is gonna pass away in the next episode. Like that's uh so I mean, yeah, we were all busting each other's balls and we were going to games together and everything and or watching stuff. I mean, you guys will see it in the finale. We went and shot on the field at UGA, and that was really fun. I directed that episode, and we were out there on the field at Mississippi State or when Georgia played Mississippi State, and it was crazy. I mean, that was like to be in the stadium where I've like, as a college kid was incredibly intoxicated many
Is that like a
times.
career highlight?
Of course, of course. How could it not be? That or
Yeah.
that or tripping over the dolly track on my first day on set of Doctor Strange 2, uh, in front of the whole crew. It's one of
Oh
the worst.
no.
Um,
But going to Georgia, like in the Georgia Stadium and being there, what would you compare that to from the sets you were on for Doomsday?
well, I mean, yeah, just to get, it's like obviously the principal set in Doomsday.
You were at the X Mansion, right? You wrote a lot of stuff at the X Mansion, and then we went back to Thanos in 2014 again, which is a surprise.
Yeah, well, it's weird. It's actually it's cool because Doomsday goes to the University of Georgia
Yeah.
uh, stadium. There's the final battle takes place in Athens, Georgia.
Yeah.
So it's really
Chad
cool.
takes the prosthetics off and he's Red Skull.
Yeah, exactly. I would talk to Feige and it's like this, as we were doing, I was like, it's basically a superhero thing. Like Chad could be in this. Let's get him in.
When you're writing certain scenes like the fly embedded scene, do you know like how that's gonna work? Because as I was watching that, it almost reminded me of like Ace Ventura climbing out of a rhino's ass. It was just such a funny, like absurd scene.
Best
But like, do you
compliment.
know how that's gonna work when you put it to the page?
Best compliment you could. That might be my most. That or the scene from Titanic. Are definitely my most rewound scenes as a young man.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
same.
the- on the old VHS. But I mean, I wrote that scene literally. I remember sitting in my office and we'd broken the second episode, but I was like, it's the second episode. You put a lot of pressure on yourself because you've written this pilot that everybody like is so stoked on. You can order a show off of it. And I was like, it needs to be insane. The show has to be insane. Like that's what we always said. Like the show has to be insane. And I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're talking about how do I think of how I just trust that we're going to be able to execute it,
Yeah.
And at that point, I haven't even really educated myself when I was writing that on, the mask itself is like, It's actually just several pieces. It's like it's a prosthetic here, it's cheeks
Like kind of how it looks in the show when it's on the mannequin?
and a nose. Yeah, but it's like at that time I was like, I don't know. I guess this is just like fucking Mission Impossible. Like I'm so stupid at everything I'm creating. Uh, but you know that you're gonna figure it out as you go into production, and you trust your collaborators, and so I mean that was I mean, one of the funniest days on set ever. And yeah, I mean that's there's very little CG in there. It's mostly just Glenn like just doing
Digging
some
in there.
work, digging there, and
And
then
then do you have to
obviously
reset if you want to redo that scene again and get all the prosthetics put back on? Like, how does
yeah, I
that
mean
work?
well, it's like we basically pick up everything uh up until he starts really digging,
Gotcha.
like up until the fever pitch, and we had a couple different like cheek flaps, and we could kind of like get it back on pretty quickly. But now we're like, all right, let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
And you can cut around it, and you can always, with CG, it's like if I don't think we actually had to, but you can paint it out a little bit, like if it's a little messed up. But that scene was so funny that that's Jordan Mendoza. It plays the guy freaking out opposite him.
Yeah.
He was one of our writers.
Oh,
Uh,
really? That's
so
cool.
funny. Yeah, he's got a show coming out on Adult Swim. He's so funny. Um, but that was the craziest thing. I wrote that, and then literally that night, my wife, we went into the hospital and had our baby. So
That
it's like that
night,
was like the last.
wow.
Yeah, I was like that was the last thing I
Yeah, you'll
wrote
never forget writing that scene.
before I became a father.
How much deviation from what you wrote is there? Is there improv happening? Because I don't know if it's just how amazing Glen Powell's comedic timing is, but some of this stuff when he's not coming up with, my mama used to say, there's so many funny moments in the series where I'm like, was that improv? It felt so natural.
The Wolves Babes. I was belly laughing during the Wolves Babes.
I mean, it's an amazing mix of. I mean, first off, it's like all the credit in the world goes to Glenn. It's none of it works without him. He's so funny. Like that is, and he's not just like rom-com funny. He's
Yeah.
Danny McBride funny in this.
Yeah.
And Glenn's a sicko. He's a psychopath. He's got that like put him in a comedy like this and he's gonna make you laugh so hard, and he was so game for everything. Um, and so there was a ton of improv. I mean, the joy of the Chad Powers character and maybe my favorite part about it was like, oh, like the trick is he sucks at improv. So when I'm sitting down trying to write a Chad line, I'm kind of just like, all right, what is my first thought? And it's just you just chase like dumb, stupid, like the wolves thing. When I was writing that, I was like, I don't know, just kind of like, and it's so stupid. But then you're like, well, this works. But then there's tons of other stuff that it's just Glenn improv, like that red rocket's big and dirty, and you got puppy, like that it's like that's all Glenn. And then also there's other stuff that because he's doing so much funny stuff that you're able to build it in the edit. So like that, my mama said, our editors, Patrick Tuck, who he edited Dave, and is just it's like he's brilliant. He edited several of our episodes. And that was a thing where there was actually a line there, but the line wasn't like hitting well enough. But we had some takes where there was enough like great stuttering from Glenn where we actually like built that in the edit.
Wow.
Oh
Like
wow.
this just and then you're cutting to Clay, you're kind of
The
so it's like
reactions, yeah, everyone's just
yeah,
waiting,
and it's
yeah.
like that's one of the biggest laughs. It's a real like
The reactions, the straight, people playing straight against him too. Even the Wolves Babe scene when he's just like, it depends. And even just the like, it depends on what? Like it's
it's
so
why it
goddamn funny
depends.
to me.
They're all I mean that's all these actors are so funny, and we're asking them to do the stupidest stuff, and you're just and they were all so game, and I think that's the other funny thing was like we really I like by and large hired. or cast like great dramatic actors. That was kind of my like let's go with people that I'm really excited about dramatically. You know, Clayne Crawford, for example, I knew him from Rectify, and which I thought he was so good in this little Sundance show. He was amazing in, and you just trust that he can be so funny when you write him as this asshole, and he is.
So good. And
I, Bob, I'm just looking at the doc that I took the screenshot of when they're writing down the lore of Chad Powers, and last name Powers was shortened to Palmero, older than normal due to COVID, can't shower because he has a pee hole disorder. Like you like, and sometimes we'll play a game called Quiplash where you can like put in an answer, and
Oh yeah, I know it. Yeah.
you know, right? When you laugh at your own joke, you go, "Oh, this is gonna get. I'm sweeping this game."
yeah,
Right?
when you're
And
giggling typing it.
you had to be laughing when you're talking about the giant pee hole stuff. Like that's just
Far
preposterous, in
and
my
wide,
opinion.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting there watching like Glen Powell and Steve Zahn, legend. Glen
Legend.
Powell, as
Yeah.
big of a movie star as exists right now, and they're shooting this scene like saying "tape your pee hole" and making Gary Sandusky jokes, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just like, we are getting away with murder right now, which is how it felt, and I think that like brings it back to that thing of like, oh yeah. Now it's you want people to watch it and be like, no, this is the show where we make the Sandusky jokes. Like this
Yeah.
isn't.
Again, I think they're going to be like, you know what? You can watch 99.9% of the shows on Hulu except for this one. We're not getting this one off Disney Plus. You're going to have to go to Hulu for this season two.
Yeah.
You know, it's really funny. We keep sticking around in the Disney Plus like top 10 or or even top 5, and it's like Hocus Pocus 2, Hotel Transylvania,
Yeah.
Halloween Town, Chad Powers, and me and my producing partner, I'm like I hope is that kids are like sneaking and watching
Yeah.
it, and that this is rewiring their brains. Like that's my hope.
This is
That
gonna
was
you're gonna have the new 6-7 or whatever the kids are doing. It's
oh
gonna be like a
god.
meme from Chad Powers next.
Good, good. That, by the way, this is the stuff. It's like this is the thing when you step out of the Marvel ecosystem and you're like, oh wow, you gotta hit the road and sell your thing. You start to learn what 6-7 is. You find yourself downloading TikTok as a
Yeah.
37-year-old man and being like, all right, what is this? And so yeah, you wanna hit that. That's the audience now.
And I got to give you credit too, because like just getting into like what is not even hot in pop culture, but just the world we live in and the ridiculousness of it all. Like episode one, and you're seeing Hawk Tuah girl, and he's calling her Haley Tuah, and he's driving a Cybertruck. You're like, yes, of course this fucking douchebag would drive a Cybertruck. And you
Yeah.
guys have nailed. That's maybe my favorite thing is you've really done a good job embracing the absurdity of the world that has evolved into where we live now. If this is not a simulation, which I'm kind of hoping it is at this point, and that's something I hope continues as the show goes on, and I imagine it will because every single episode. And then along with that, you push the envelope. It's like, wow, the cancer joke. Wow, the Sandusky joke. And it's like, I don't know where you're gonna go next, you sick son of a bitch. And I'm in. I'm excited to see where it's going next.
Well, it just gets more deranged from here. So yeah, stick with us, stick around.
Even just like the Dumois Nobu Malibu stuff is so like
Yeah.
our world. I haven't heard like a show bringing up Dumois before and talking about I recognize you from that, not your career. And like there's so many funny little things where I feel like it just feels like you said, the absurdity is there, but the rest of it feels pretty real. Feels like our
My
world.
my my friends were like, is this the first show to say Pog? Like, did you? And I'm
Yeah.
I'm like I'm like I would love to do the research. Like, I don't know if there's some kind of medal I can get. Like, if this is the first scripted entertainment to like to enter that into the lexicon,
Pog
but
respecter.
yeah, yeah.
even the stuff like Michael's, oh, it's closed permanently. Well, yeah, Michael's is dying. And then it's like, oh, we're going to go to a Spirit Halloween, which is always open. I'm like, this fucking guy, it's like he's written into real life so well, man. It's been absolutely And then the Pog stuff, yeah, tip of the cap. That could become a meme. Just Pog,
Yeah.
Pog, Pog, giant catfish.
Well, it is, it's like it's I don't know. And sometimes it's like I'm writing it for guys our age too, It's like it's definitely probably pretty millennial coded show.
That's good. You learned that recently. Millennial coded.
Right, right. I have so much new language that I'm like, oh, God. But it's great and it's funny to see the audience response, good and bad. Like it's funny to see when people are like offended that Hawk Tua's in the show or that he drives a Cybertruck. It's like people's relationship with this stuff is so interesting now.
And I know obviously you and Glenn are producers on this. Seems like you work very well together. Have you considered writing another project for Glen Powell to star in alongside Timothy Chalamet? Basically, what I'm asking, have you considered making $1 trillion?
I would love I'd love to let Glenn keep being my muse. I think that we have a great time and I hope we can keep working together, forever and ever.
Glen
I
Powell
have,
confirmed for Avengers Doomsday. That'll be the headline that
yes.
comes out of this interview. Yeah.
Good work, Bob. Good work. I need you to answer this honest with me, Michael, too. We've known each other for a while now and consider you a friend. Have you ever gotten lost in Glenn's smile?
He's beautiful. It's like the good news is I now am actually when I see the real Glenn, I'm like I'm like that's not you. It's like when I
Yeah.
see Chad,
Mm.
I'm like that's the real you. I'm
That's why
convinced.
you wrote a show where he's in ugly prosthetics. You were getting
Yeah,
lost in
I'm
his
like
eyes
that's
and his
the only
smile
way
too
I could
much.
be around this guy. He's too handsome. It's like you can't really be friends with him. No, but I have to. I regret
He's
to
low key
inform.
in the TVA. You took his powers away.
Exactly, exactly. He
Yeah.
he's as charming as everyone suspects him to be. He really is. He's such a lovely guy.
And it's, hey, not a bad thing that it's like you guys wrap the show and then the guy's stock just keeps going up every week. So it's like it's a Glenn Powell show. I'll fuck with that guy because I like him in everything I've seen him in so far. Pretty good
He's
position to be
great.
in.
He's great. Running Man's gonna crush. So no,
Oh, I'm
we're
excited for that. Yeah.
yeah, we're stoked. We're stoked.
Bob, this is my last question. This one's a big one though, because I got put on the spot with it. And I think I did a good job, but I'm going to ask you. If you were to do a player comp for this what player, we'll say college football player, all time, current, whatever you want to do, would you say Chad Powers is as a show?
Um. Wow.
It's a tough
That's
one.
no, but it's great. Yeah, it's got to be s- s- somebody insane who sort maybe it's Wild Thing, Rick Vaughn.
All
That
right.
yeah.
He was in the
Yeah.
office yesterday. You know that? Charlie Sheen was in the Barstool office.
Really?
And he signed somebody's Jobu number 99. Pretty sick.
Wow.
That's
That
awesome.
is that's sick. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it. You underestimate him, but he throws heat, man. But he's
That's fair.
dangerous.
I said Baker Mayfield, and I think this is like Tampa Baker, where it's like, all right, we know we have with Chad Powers, we know where he is, and then you're just watching, you're like, holy shit, this is so much goddamn fun, a little crazy, and you're like, I got to
That's a
keep
way
watching.
better answer.
Thank you,
Yeah, yeah. Go with that. Go with that. Definitely, definitely stick with that.
Bob.
That's
Well, AI can make my answer in his voice. We'll get it
yeah,
done in
yeah,
post
yeah. We'll
production.
rewind that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that's
we'll
that.
do the CGI. Yeah.
I
We'll
think
do that
that's
in
great.
post.
That's
Is
great
that what
for
they say
sure.
in the business? We'll fix that in post.
Exactly, exactly. That's what they say.
Michael,
Um,
thank you so much. We appreciate you joining. Was there any other baseball takes, any baseball talk before we get you out of here that we
who
didn't
had
get
the
into
who
the
had the
baseball?
more depressing season? I guess I got my depression out of the way by like the All-Star break with the Braves. I mean, listen,
Clem
man.
was a roller coaster till the end.
No, it was over pretty quickly, but we had such a good lead to start the season that it's like it was the family member on the bed where you're like, just pull the fucking plug, but you're like, but he could wake up and he could take us to a World Series or make us rich beyond our wildest dreams. And you're like, all right, we got to keep him on. And then you're like, why didn't we pull the plug back in July when all of us we knew it, we knew it was bad news, and we saw those last. There's only one team I want to see less than the Atlanta Braves the last weekend of the season, and it's a Marlins team that has nothing to play for. And sure enough, that's exactly they did what they always do to us. So I saw it coming from a while. Like, however, Michael, let's not let the Yankee fan on the podcast down
Oh
because
no,
he had
I was hoping that didn't come up. Yeah, the Blue
he had his
Jays
own
kicked my
special brand
shit
of
in.
misery.
Listen,
Yeah,
at least the Phillies. That's I'm like, you know what? We can all agree on that. And it's like when the Mets lose Frank's content, I'm like, that's like the only baseball content I consumed for the second half of the season. I'm like, this is filling my cup. So
hey, maybe season two, Frank could be an upset Catfish fan.
by the
Oh,
way, by the way, not a bad idea. Not a bad
Can we
idea.
send you a reel of his?
Send me a reel. Send me a reel. Put him on tape. We'll put him
this
on tape.
asshole Priol has all his Met rants bookmarked. You don't need a real goddamn jerk break fans. I hate all of you.
Michael, thank you very much. Chad Powers, of course, on Hulu. Check it out. It gets the big thumbs up and basement recommendation from both of us. And we're not just blowing smoke. We were privately texting like, "This is awesome." We're like way
Well,
into this
thanks,
shit.
guys. I appreciate it. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of an audience probably more suited for it than than
Totally.
you.
Yes.
It's Barstool, very Barstool. That's the perfect way to put it. Barstool, and we have sports still in the name. Yeah, it looks like it's in Bob's
It's in
behind
there.
his head right there. It's still there.
Yeah,
Barstool Sports.
yeah.
This is us right here. Must watch. We're putting the must watch tag on it, Bob.
Must watch.
Let's watch. All right, fellas. Thank y'all so much.
Of course. Thank you.